Okay guys, welcome back. I'm going to go ahead and start off by apologizing for the video last night. I was really tired, really frustrated, and got more frustrated when I couldn't find my assembly lube, but we're over that now. Hopefully we're good. So like I said, welcome back. So here's the deal. What I'm doing right now, I'm just lubing up. You know, we've already checked the clearances in the last video. We checked the clearances on 1 and 2 here. So currently, I'm just applying some assembly lube, which I now have, and we're gonna get these torqued down. The proper way to do this is, first you want to torque these down to 15 foot-pounds. So after you torque these bolts to 15 foot-pounds, you're going to use a torque angle gauge here to run them around to 75 degrees. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Those of you who are sloppy fans, sloppy mechanics, you're going to be like, yeah man, just torque them to 50 foot-pounds, let it go. That's fine if you want to do that. Fact of the matter is, you can get this gauge at any auto parts store for like freaking less than $10. So there's really no excuse not to do the proper procedure here. Yes, it's kind of a pain in the butt to try to get this to sit in here and not twist, but I'm choosing to do it by the book on this one, guys. So that's the way I'm doing it. You do it the way you want to do it. Enough said. I'm going to get it done. There we go. 1 and 2 are torqued properly. We torqued them to 15 foot-pounds. Then we spun them around to 75 degrees. So as you guys saw in the last video, you guys already I already showed you guys, how to check your clearances there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pull up 3 and 4. I'm going to check my bearing clearances on 3 and 4 after I put the pistons in, and just redo this procedure on the next 3 sets of rods here. Here we are about, well, hour and a half later, I guess. And what I'm doing now is I like to just put some motor oil. This is just 30 weight motor oil, guys. I like to just try to let it soak in a little bit in between all of the rods and the crank journals, or not crank journals, but the crank counterweights. And then after I do that, well, we'll go ahead and turn it over a little bit. Should turn fairly smooth. I mean, you're gonna have resistance in the from the rings and the bores there, but yeah, all our clearances are good. I do want to say number 6 was a little tight, but it was still within spec. But just compared to the others, it was a little tight, but it was in spec, so I went ahead and run it. Now, what I'm actually going to do, guys, is I'm not going to be putting the pan on yet. I'll tell you why in a second, but I'm going to do the heads before the pan, because what I want to do before I put the pan on, I'll just take like a quart of oil and I will just dump it in here. And then on these LS engines, since you need to try to get some oil in the pump, I'll usually dump some oil down in the pump here right before I put the pan on. Then I'll flip it upside down. I end up with like a quart of oil in the pan, but everything ends up with a good coat of oil on it inside the engine. So just a little something I like to do. You can or cannot, it's up to you. Honestly, if you've got a primer, a way to prime your LS, then you really don't need to do that. But I do not have a primer. Some people don't prime them at all, they just fire them right off. But all right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's turning over smooth. Awesome. That's what I like. Should be able to just wiggle them just a little bit. Yep. So make sure nothing's binding up, guys, is all I'm doing. Good. All right. Bottom end's done, guys. So since that was over with so insanely fast, I feel like I need to do something else on camera here. Holy snot, man. How are you so freaking tight when I put anti-seize on all of you? So what I'm going to start doing here is we're going to clean the head gasket surface on the heads here, because probably the next video I will be putting the heads on. Well, first thing I'm going to do is take these BR7. For those of you who are new to the channel, this was a turbo engine. We were running a turbocharger on this engine before, and you know, the popular plug to run for turbos on LS's is the BR7 EF NGKs, which ironically enough happens to also be the same spark plugs I like to run for nitrous applications. These spark plugs are actually in really good shape, guys. They've probably only got like, I don't know, 1,000 miles on them. So I'm gonna go through them, clean them up, and we'll probably just throw them in the old toolbox to have as a spare set for the China Vet, you know, in case we burn a plug at the track or something like that. But I'm probably not. I'm gonna ask Ray if he wants me to put platinums in, or the iridium, like what comes in it from the factory. I prefer not to run them, guys. I've had this debate with a lot of people, but here's the facts. I've noticed when street tuning, I can take, and my Avalanche is a perfect example of this. I can take a bone stock LS and data log it and see knock retard. I can pull the factory style iridium plugs out, and I can put in the same heat range but a copper plug, like an NGK TR5 would be about the same heat range as the factory plug, but it's copper instead of iridium, and that knock retard will just go away. So I don't like running iridium plugs with anything. I mean, they're great. The factory uses them, I think, because just because, you know, higher mileage, like you don't have to change the spark plugs for freaking 100,000 miles or whatever. But I would rather change my spark plugs every 15,000 miles on a street engine. On a performance engine, you're going to change it a lot more than that. But on a street engine, I'd rather change my plugs every 15,000 miles and be able to put a little more timing in it, make a little more power. So that's my deal with the iridium plugs, guys, why I don't like them. Now, before I start cleaning on this head, I'm going and taking, I just bought some of this Lucas assembly lube, and I know my buddy Jeff from Headflow Inc., you know, recommended just getting some like, oh crap, what is it? Some of the STP engine treatment to use as assembly lube. But when I went to the auto parts store, this stuff was only $4, so I just went ahead and got the you know, the product that was specifically made for it. I mean, it may be the same stuff, Jeff, I don't know. You're probably right, brother. Honestly, you're probably right. But you know, for $4 as opposed to like $3, I just, yeah, I'm just gonna get this stuff, man. Okay, the assembly lube is on the shelf where it goes. I'm gonna start cleaning on these heads on the gasket surface here. Should be good. Nice clean surface for the head gasket. And no, I wasn't trying to clean the combustion chambers, but since the carburetor cleaner was loosening some stuff up, I just decided to go ahead and, you know, wipe some of the gunk out. But that wasn't the purpose. The purpose was just to, you know, get all the old gasket material and crud off of the sealing surface here. So this one's good. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the other one. The heads are ready to be bolted back on. Now, after I get them on the engine, what I may do is scrub on the outside of them some, and I don't know if I want to hit them with silver paint or not. May just leave them the way they are. I'll ask Ray. He'll be over this weekend, so, and that's kind of why I'm trying to hurry up and get this done, guys, because I told Ray the next time he came over here that I would have this engine together for him, and you know, he's supposed to be over here this weekend. As long as the weather's good, we're going to pull the Nova out and we're going to just pressure wash this whole engine bay and get in there, hit it with wire brushes, etc., etc. And, you know, hopefully, depending on the weather, we may get it all shot with some satin black. So, you know, I want this engine together when he gets here, and you guys can see the bottom end is together. The heads are ready to be bolted on. Really, all I still have to do is clean the head surface off on the block here, and then we're gonna throw the new heads on. So it's getting kind of late tonight, but that is probably gonna be where I pick up in the next video. Get that scrubbed down, or not scrubbed down, but you know, just get any old gasket material off the head or off the block here, and get these heads bolted on. And no, guys, we are not going to be reusing head bolts or reusing head gaskets here. We got all new stuff to go on here. I joke around about that, and honestly, I have reused head bolts one time, but you know, it's not for the price. It's really not worth it unless you just really need to get an engine thrown together and get it back up and running. So that's not the situation we're in. You know, I had months to order parts, so I'm going with new parts on this. All the parts that I'm using, the head bolts, the gaskets, all that, I did get it all off eBay. I will put links in the video where I'm using those parts, which probably will be the next video. You know, we'll be putting the new head gaskets, new head bolts in, but I will put links because I did budget shop for and the cheapest, what I thought would be reliable parts that I could find. So I will put links in the description of the video when I use those. One more thing I want to say is, you know, every time I go to Harbor Freight, I'm eyeballing those $100 parts washers. I don't really have room in the garage for one, but if I did something with this clusterfuck over here, I probably could put a parts washer over there. But yeah, if I can get this area here cleaned out and figure out something to do with all this stuff, and you know, I can get an extra $100. Well, that's the trick, is getting an extra $100, because I can think of a lot better ways to spend $100. But like right now, it's, you know, it's like 10 o'clock at night, and you know, I really, what I need to do is take these heads outside and just, you know, now that I've got the gasket surfaces cleaned, I would like to just take them out here and clean the shit out of them. If I had a parts washer, I could do it right here. I mean, I could just sit here and scrub and just, you know, get all the older. I mean, they're not in bad shape, guys. It's not like they're filthy or anything, but I wouldn't mind cleaning them all up. And I might do that tomorrow when it's daylight outside. I might go buy a couple cans of sorry, got choked up, a couple cans of carb cleaner and you know, clean them up a little bit better as far as internally and externally, just so they look better. But nothing wrong with them the way they are. We got the engine put to bed for the night. Like I said earlier in the video, I kind of wanted to apologize. I realized I didn't do a video for a long time, and then these last two videos really haven't been what you guys are used to seeing on this channel. But guys, I'm covered up right now, so I'm trying to get this knocked out so we can get on to the fun stuff, which is going to be actually, you know, putting the engine in the Nova and you know, doing the wiring, the fuel system, all that. So kind of bear with me if you don't mind. We are going to get to that. Stick around though, guys. I am going to start bouncing back and forth between the projects here soon. I really want to get some good content out for you guys. The last couple videos, honestly, I've not been happy with. I don't know if you guys have or not. You can let me know in the comments if you'd like, you know, if you're happy with the way I've been doing things lately or not. That's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to go in here, try to get cleaned up, wash these filthy hands, and go to bed. So if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, subscribe if you want to keep track of this build or any of the other builds. Get out in the garage, get something done, and I'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.